Hey everyone, welcome back to the conversation. The Heavy on the Truth, the plus side conversations. I'm Nomi,
I'm Lex Wenderless.
and today the conversation is all about exercising as a plus size body. So basically, I think we've touched on a couple of things that we've happened to hit on, just exercising in a plus size body. We've talked about trauma, we've talked about our respective journeys and just things that we've kind of figured out doing. So, I guess going back to conversation 2, there's dealing with trauma, specifically that need to perform when you're exercising to show everybody what you're capable of and doing your best. There's always that pressure, which doesn't feel nice. Also, I think we've both mentioned is loving exercise now. It
Mhm.
kinda just came out of nowhere. I don't know if it's just our age or just finding something that we love to do, or maybe a combination of all the things, but just loving this journey where we are. I can't even imagine myself not doing something fitness related, even after having a bum knee, um, and just dying to do exercise. I know, I'm recovering, but this dying to do exercise is
That bum knee.
it is a bum knee.
It will heal.
Okay, it's under construction. It's going through a metamorphosis, but it's still a bum knee until the meantime. So, yeah, I mean, even now, just wanting to exercise and do more, my brain and also my body's kinda craving to do more even though I know I can't, but it's just, so weird about how I feel like if I had ruptured my ACL like 10 years ago at 25 or even younger, I wouldn't want to be feeling like this. I would probably be resting and feeling the downtime and then not wanting to exercise, but this need to exercise is so real. I miss lifting heavy at my classes. I miss it. I'm so stressed about how your PRs are going to crush mine when I finally get back into the game.
I'm not gonna crush because I unless it's like lat pull down or row or something like that, girl, the chest presses, I'm barely at 100, barely.
But we got to get you past
It
that.
is the pull-ups, no.
I was doing assisted pull-ups though.
Can't do an assisted pull-up. It's more of a scapula pull-up at this point.
Like, I feel like pull-ups are just hard in general, but I don't know. Like I said, like the FOMO is so real because I'm just like, I'm ready to get out there. Like I miss doing what I was doing,
Yeah.
you know?
You were getting a clavicle. You were
Oh my
just
God, you in that class
you're doing pull-ups like 3 times a week.
3 times, but at least once a week because I was going to a different gym. And at some point, I feel like every other week he was putting in pull-ups. And I'm like, "Okay, I can't even be mad at it because it was everything," but don't get me wrong, I was upset because I was like, I'm trying to get to the point where I don't need so many bands to help, and it was just so frustrating because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, no, this is hurting."
Yeah. The fact that you can even do an assisted pull-up is huge. I don't see myself getting to that point for like another year or so. And that's with me trying to train it twice a week. And I'm not into it right now. I ain't got that kind of time.
I feel
Of
like
course, I know it would transform my back faster, probably,
I feel like that helped my back transformation.
but I got big ass problems on my back right now. I got my core, my abs are just I'm still like 8 years postpartum. Those are my biggest problems. So back, I'm
I
like, I'll do
mean,
back later.
my core has always been abysmal. Well, I think my core is just the weakest part of me, but I feel like now, ugh, girl. My core workouts be kicking my butt, and they're not supposed to be that hard, and I fight for my life. I'm fighting for my life. I'm like, the core is not coring the way it at least it was decent before. I said it was trash before, and I take that back. It's trash now.
And your core is good.
I mean, I knew it was decent, but now I'm just like, it is the opposite of decent now.
But the crazy thing is I know the minute, like, you're cleared by your doctor, within, like, 3 weeks, you're gonna be back at that same level of your PR. No, you are. Cause okay, I'll tell you what happened. So I've been traveling for the last month or so. And a week before I traveled, I was off my schedule. Like I went from working out 6 days a week to like maybe once a week that those 2 weeks before I traveled. And then when I traveled, I worked out maybe twice a week. So it was definitely, and I was drinking alcohol after being dry for months. So coming back, it was I was out of breath for my first week back. I couldn't even work out every day. I did 2 to 3 days and I was out of breath, feeling crazy, out of shape. I had to I was hip thrusting maybe close to 200 pounds. I had to go down to like 120. It was that bad. I had to like work myself and progressively overload back that first day. But by the second and the third day, you're I don't know if it's like some memory or what. Then I'm like, "Oh, this is life." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm getting back to what I was before." So, and I know you've been kinda out for a while. A month can't compare to surgery and stuff like that. But you also don't discount the fact that although you are in a recovery phase post-surgery, you're still working out other parts of your body. You're still doing upper body. You're still doing other things.
Yeah, I
So
feel
when
like but
you're not gonna be that far behind
I feel like
unless
I
it
am only
requires
because I mean, I think I am because it's just like I'm maintaining basically what I'm just to keep
that's
my
better than
strength. I mean, you're right, that is better than not doing anything and losing, but I feel like I'm still gonna have it's still gonna I feel like it's still gonna take time just because, like, I don't have all the equipment here, and it doesn't make sense to basically build a whole gym in there just for right now. I think, like, I have heavy enough weights in my apartment that I can use to just help me maintain and maybe do a little bit of adding strength, like, that would be good if I could, you know, get a little bit more strength, but I'm hoping that I can just maintain what I have, but I know I did lose some strength because, like, my last in-body scan, I did like, my arms are above average, like, with muscle mass, but I noticed that it did trend down a little bit. Not where I should be, like, overly concerned, but there was a trend down that I noticed from my previous invert scan. Huh?
you're chest pressing 150 pounds and doing pull-ups. Is you real?
Yes, but it's just I mean, no, they told I think it said my legs were average, which hurt because I was like but I think, like, my legs are not really even above average even before I injured myself. I think they were just in the average range. I think it was, like, trending towards above average, which I think I feel like had I paid attention to that when I got my in-body scans before my injury, maybe I would have focused a lot more on legs. Maybe that could have, like, prevented the injury, but that's also me speculating. I think I'm always trying to come up with some way to go back in time and see if I could have done something different to make sure this didn't happen, as if I'm gonna build a time machine and it's gonna change something. I don't know. It's not, but I'm hoping that maybe I'm gonna learn quantum physics, build a time machine once I figure out what I could have done better, hop in the time machine, and voila, not injured my leg.
So I think it's for you, it's kinda interesting because not only are you strength training, you're also doing stuff like pole and hammocks and, aerial, which do require a lot of upper body. So I know, like, maybe in the pole and the dance arena, there may be being plus size a little bit more acceptable, but how did you find that transition when you started attending, like, gyms, like the kettlebell gym and, like, the other strength training gym that's more like fitness lifting focused. How did you find that transition, that change as a plus size body?
I think it was more I think I felt more relaxed, and I don't know if it was just my mindset, but I also think, like, you see more, like, different body types. Like, when I went to Harlem, Kettlebell Club outside of, like, Power Plus Wellness, because I really had liked the class that the owner had did with us, so I wanted to like, go to his you know, figure out his gym more, and he had classes every day, and I feel like I had seen so many A, it was more female, and B, it was just like I every single day I was seeing somebody with, like, a different body type. Even if they weren't necessarily as big as me, it ranged. It wasn't just skinny girls. Like, everybody had some meat to them. And then there were times where I was seeing girls bigger than me in there, and I was just like, wow, okay, like and I think that made me more comfortable. I think I went in thinking, "You know what?" Like, I always go into things as like, "It's fine if I'm the biggest girl here, like, whatever. It is what it is." But I think, like, just seeing him and, like, what his community buildup was that everybody was represented there. And I think I felt a little even more comfortable because it was mainly females, and he wanted to gear a gym towards females anyway, so they would feel more comfortable lifting. Because when you think about it, that's another thing that makes it uncomfortable if you're thinking about strength training at, like, a typical gym is, like, it's a bro section, and you don't necessarily wanna go there for a dude to, like, look at you, check you out, or try to mansplain to you, like, about your technique. So that made me feel better, like, so I think that kinda eased my anxiety a bit, and then just seeing, like, there weren't, like, just girls who were size zeros or size 2s or size 4s, like, I was seeing genuinely a mixture of bodies, so I
Yeah.
felt comfortable.
Yeah. And I don't know, I would say, like, for maybe it's a New York thing. For me down here, I do tend to be well, I want okay, let's say let me exempt, like, the last 6 months because the trend has really changed, honestly, in the last 6 months. But I would say before, let's say, like, 20 to, summer 2025, 10 I was a lot of times the only woman my size in rooms, particularly with strength training and lifting and like those really broy fitness classes where it's like we're deadlifting or we're powerlifting, Olympic stuff. So I was the only plus size person there. And you get used to it. We've been doing this for a very long time.
Right.
Like we said in our previous episodes, like pre 10 years ago, we were hiding and heavy baggy clothes. We didn't couldn't even walk into a gym. So it's a muscle that you kind of start to build that, okay, I'm gonna be the biggest person there. So what? I don't even think I think about it anymore unless like somebody makes it pretty obvious. But I know I have a goal. I'm thinking about my goal. I'm thinking about what I came to accomplish for that class. Like I want to come out here with ripped quads or ripped back. That's what I'm thinking about. Or I want to burn X amount of calories today. I'm mainly focused on that. So yeah, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm gonna be the biggest woman here or whatever. So you kind of get used to it. But I will say that, and of course the looks. I think sometimes it's just the looks people give you. And I've actually been lucky recently. I think a lot of the trainers are pretty open minded. I haven't really had a trainer make me feel weird about it. I've had trainers that have done that, but not in the strength training section, maybe like a yoga class or like a bar or Pilates. That's why I see a lot of and I'm like, calm down. I know ball. Calm down. I know what I'm doing. I know how to make my own adjustments. But strength training, I think the trainers I've come across, and I come across a lot because I try different things, even within the confines of my own gym. There's so many different classes, so many different trainers to work with. They actually expect more, right? Especially if they see that they notice that you have good form and you know what you're doing, they'll tend to kind of push you further. So from the trainer perspective, I haven't really had any strength training, weight training trainer that's made me feel different because of my body. They've actually expected more from me. There have been like certain people that give you kind of looks, or sometimes I always know there's someone who maybe isn't giving their all, and then they look at me and I can kind of sense like they have that calculation in their head, like if she can do it, I can too. And I guess that's positive. I'm like, okay, I don't really pay attention to it. But I do have those guys that are like, you're you're doing it halfway right now, and you were expecting me to be lower than you, and I'm not. I'm giving it back. So I'm like, don't use me as your but yeah, honestly, you don't really think about it. And even if someone does try to make you feel uncomfortable, you really just have to be confident in who you are and your goals. And the thing is, in this journey, you're witnessing your body change. You're witnessing the success of your efforts. Like, you're confident. You're more confident in yourself. You believe in yourself. You feel more capable. So even if somebody does try to attempt to put you in a box, you kind of like brush it off a little bit. It doesn't really impact you anymore.
Yeah.
I but I will say there has been a trend lately in a lot of the fitness classes that I've taken and the different fitness events that I go to, there are more plus size women now. Like I'm not the only one anymore. And I love that. I love seeing other women, other plus size women getting, but I can tell that like they're in the beginning of their journey because it's like the baggy t-shirts. And okay, I get it. People want to wear baggy t-shirts and okay, it's not okay, to y'all, it's not a fashion runway, to me, it is. But but I'm like, I would love for everyone to show up and just to take space. Just
Right.
don't feel fidgety, don't feel like, "I don't belong." You're a human body, you belong. You belong in any room you wanna walk in. Doesn't matter what size or the color of your skin or whatever, qualifying quality we wanna use. But I have seen more plus size women, and I'm happy if them seeing me puts them at ease and gives them, you know, a sense of belonging. Like when we started this journey, we had to rely more on other like I had to rely on other plus size women on social media.
Right.
I had to rely on social media because the ones that maybe were around a lot of I think in person at some of the places I'd been, a lot of people that were plus size that had somehow transformed. I just didn't like the way that they talked about their bodies prior to this transformation, right? Because I'm not trying to change my body because I hate being plus size. I'm probably going to be plus size for the rest of my life. I just want to lose weight, more weight, and honestly, I just wanna wear cute clothes, and I got cute clothes, and I can't fit them because I gained so much weight. Like, we worked on this capsule wardrobe in 2016. I spent a lot of money, and I have really cute items, and I wanna go back to be able to wear Chanel. And it's unfortunate that designers will not make clothes past a size 14 or 12. Okay, Dolce, you're doing it, I get it, but sometimes y'all don't make everything in your line.
That's fair. That's fair. That's valid.
I Oh, yeah, I'm on a fitness journey because I'm finding it hard to wear cute clothes, but it's honestly the reality. Of course, your health, but like in your situation, it's not your health is great. There are no issues with your biomarkers, right? It's just your DNA or something or metabolic, whatever, is the reason why you're plus size. So it's not always a health thing. But anyway, and you're allowed to want to lose weight for whatever reason you have. So,
That's
but
true.
yeah, but I will say I know for sure, even in this journey, I will be in fitness probably for the rest of my life, and I'm absolutely 100% certain that I will possibly always be plus size.
I know I'm always gonna be plus size, and I think that used to bother me, but now I kinda don't as, like, just an F you and just taking a stand, I'm just kinda like, I don't even really want to be small. I love my body right now, and I think that has a lot to do with now that I get to explore fitness and see what my body's capable of doing, and I feel my achievements are even more impressive than if I had been 125 pounds or something. Like, I feel when you are plus size and you're pursuing movement and fitness, like, you have to stay dedicated, you have to remain consistent in order to get those results, and I think that's where you see, like, true growth somewhere, like, you really commit to that and you really see what your body's capable of. You don't really necessarily get bored. And I mean, I see this so much in like pole and aerial. The smaller girls can land the tricks quicker. So they are blowing through these things without really learning and then they get bored with it. And I think I don't have that problem. Yeah, I'm dying to progress and move on, but also, like, because I can't get it out right away, like, I have to like, it shows how passionate I am about this. I see other sides of it. Like, to me, pole dancing isn't just tricks, like, it's called pole dancing. I have to learn dance, like, and that also allows me to be a dancer, not just someone who did social dancing, but now I'm like, "Ooh,
Incorporate.
like, I can learn how to actually move my body in a way and learn dance in a it's a very limited scope, but, that helped me wanna do belly dancing because I never thought of being a belly dancer because I was like, "In order to be a belly dancer, I gotta have a flat stomach, a washboard, and abs." And then it was like, "No." And I have a friend who used to belly dance, and she was like, "Girl, it's even better that you have a stomach. What are you talking about? Having weight on you and being a belly dancer is top tier." She was like, "I don't think you understand how much better your stuff is going to look when you actually learn it and get better at it." So, I don't know, I think it's just it hits different as a plus size body when you're exercising. But I
Yeah.
did want to just go on a point that you brought up. I will say that the 2 like, when it comes to strength training, the guys, yeah, they do not care about your size. I will say that. And they will challenge you, they will push you. Not in a bad way, but they don't let that, like, really be, like, a reason. Like, and you know me, Imma shoot dirty looks. I be trying, like, I be trying to bark and they just like, "Okay, great, bark. I love that energy from you. Like, live off of this." Who hurt you? Who hurt you
They're
that
all
you like
for
this?
all need therapists. Every
I
trainer
know.
I'm across, every male trainer that trains like that, I'm just like, "You are a bunch of emotional work. You need a trainer. You need a therapist.
Right. Like, they're just like, "You cuss me
You're
out. That's
running away
love
from
language."
I know it. You're running away from something."
It's crazy. When they tell me that me barking at them and giving them attitude is their love language, I'm like,
I like it.
"What happened?
I
Who
like it.
screwed you up?"
I get picked on because they know I'm gonna overreact. But for me, just to bark, I'm still gonna do it.
Thing, I'm still gonna do it. I'm just gonna give you attitude
I just have an attitude for no reason.
because I'm in pain and I want this to stop. And why do you have to be a villain in my life right now? I don't want the character development. What is this?
And we be trying sometimes I be trying, I'm in the back, I'm in my I separate myself, I'm quiet, I don't speak, and they just come up to me, they're like, "You think you can hide? Get back over here." And I'm like, "What? I don't wanna bother anybody, just let me be." And it's like, "No, no, you don't. You
And the
wanna fight,
other
and I
thing,
will give you a fight."
the other thing I learned when I first started doing this, like training, I will say I was surprised by how heavy I could lift the first time I did it. And I think the trainer kinda knew it too, um, because A, he was just like, "Females, y'all be carrying, like, bags that are purses that are 50 pounds.
Oh my god,
You
they
don't why are you picking up weights that are 5 pounds?"
really do.
I know, and it was
Okay,
like
unless it's a lateral raise. Lateral raise,
right,
yay!
but
5 pounds, okay, cool, I'll allow it.
like, it was a good point, and then, I only did pole conditioning, which is basically more on the pole, but we did body weight stuff, but there was no real resistance to it, so I didn't really think I could lift heavy. I was kinda like, "Oh, this isn't really that heavy," and of course, he locked in on that and was like, "Oh, you can go heavier. You could go heavier. Come on, you could go heavier." He just kept pushing it because, of course, like, at some point, like, I've never lifted weights, so I'm like, maybe the most I've ever done was dumbbells, and, like, they would be 10 pounds would be too much. And then he was just like, "No, like, bruh, if you don't try to pick up this, like, 25-pound kettlebell and call it a day," and I'm just like, "'Kay? Like, you think I could pick that up in both of my" and he was like, "You carry groceries? Like, you carry your purse?" He was like, "You do pull? I'm sure you could do this."
No, he's right. I think 25 is, like, the best place to start for most exercises. Well, other than triceps, okay. But, yeah, I think 25 is more realistic for us because I was at 25 for a very long time, and I was pretty comfortable with it in early in my journey.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize it, but then when I was lifting and I was doing these things and I was like, "Oh, this really it's not bad." Like, yeah, I can feel it, but if you would have told me like that's what I can lift, I would have been like, "No, I've had 10-pound dumbbells and it's heavy. Like, what are you talking about?"
I know.
And now actually my 10-pound dumbbells, like, when I, like, injured myself and I started slowly going back at workout, I was like, "Okay, these 10 pounders, I'm sure I'm gonna feel it." I picked them up and I'm like, "These are light. How did I ever think these were heavy?"
It's nothing. It's lit
It was nothing. It was basically like picking up 5s or 3s.
it's a joke.
And I and it's mind blowing because once upon a time, like, if you woulda gave me a 10-pound dumbbell, like, when I owned those, I think I got those, like, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, those were heavy. If I did a workout like this, like, it was heavy, and now I'm just like, "What is this?"
Go to 15 at least, minimum.
Yeah, like, it's
Minimum.
so weird.
It is. I mean, but also awesome. Like, I love that feeling. Like, okay, well, for me, it was okay. So I lived in the 15s and the 20s for a while. Then I progressed to 25s, and I probably stayed there for a year. And then when I switched gyms, that's when I started venturing into the 30s. So for about 6 months, I was like, oh, 30 is heavy. Like, I'm doing something. I'm doing something. But lately, I'm like 40, 45s, 50s. And it's like every time I jump by 5 pounds, in my head, I'm like, this is gonna be heavy, it's gonna hurt, I'm probably gonna have to go down. And I'm doing it. I'm just I'm at this point, I'm like, okay, where am I gonna go? I think I'm at 40, 45. And I'm like, but I feel like I could do 50s. I'm just not gonna be able to get as many reps in, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick to the 40s for a while I kind of build up that work. I mean, the videos I've been sending you lately when I do a lot of like the dumbbell work, it's 40s.
Nice.
So, okay, I can't curl a 40. I'm not that far. I'm talking about, like, rows at this point. I haven't worked on my biceps that much 'cause, yeah, whatever. I really focus on triceps and my back more. Yeah, like, I can definitely like, the fact that in maybe 2 to 3 weeks, it is highly possible that I could row a 50-pound dumbbell in one arm, in both arms, one arm 50, another arm 50, and be okay. Or even on the barbell, that I could throw, over 50, 60 pounds is insane. But it's just, there's, okay, I don't want to call it a drug, but there's this need to see it through. There's this like thirst for this. There's this thirst to like, okay, I started here and now I'm here. And every time you do it and you accomplish it, it's okay. I'm not saying you're not satisfied because you're really proud of yourself and your ability, but it's like, okay, the next one, the next one. Now I gotta go to the next one. And it sounds crazy probably to someone else, but to me, it's like the stuff that life is made out of. What
Right.
I accomplished today, and when I do accomplish it, it's like, okay, what's next? But I did want to make a point though, since we're talking about really being what is it like being plus size and fitness. I think in the beginning for me, and for anyone who's kind of a beginner, because I'm hoping that we do kind of change a lot of people's minds who are plus size and don't feel like they could be in the fitness community.
Mhm.
I think in the beginning, you kind of had to learn your body and learn. I don't want to say limits, but learn what you were capable of at that moment. Um, and I given that I was in classes where I was the only plus size woman there, or maybe let's say the trainer didn't know how to help me accommodate for my body. Like maybe because I have a stomach, certain moves were gonna look different, or because I have large breasts, I can't like for me, like push-ups are dumb because I'm carrying like an extra, I don't know how many pounds here. I'm not gonna be able to do a push like most people can. Now I have worked on it, but like I know my range of motion is not gonna be as easy as someone else because I'm carrying so much more weight. And the fact that, I go 2 inches and my boobs on the floor. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So I had to learn these things on my own or through other plus size trainers that I follow online, like, just modify on your knees or do it a standing wall or an elevated push up. That's the best way that I can really get the most out of the movement. But these kind of adjustments come with someone who's knowledgeable, and most trainers probably won't be knowledgeable because they're not in a plus size body. So you kind of have to learn to become your own trainer, understand the fundamentals of movement, understand like if I'm doing a push up, what is the goal? Which part of my body should I be feeling that in? And using that information kind of adjust. And there's a lot of resources online. Like I follow a lot of women trainers because I like when they accommodate for the boobs. Or I follow some plus size trainers who have been in bodies like mine or similar bodies and can account for some of those issues, or not, I won't say issues, but those specific characteristics that need to be accounted for in movement. But I did have to learn in the beginning to be my own trainer, to maybe one thing for me for sure, as much as I can lift heavier than most people in the gym that are there with me. Okay, not everybody, what I'm saying. I don't think I'm average. I think I'm above average. As much as I am above average when it comes to that aspect, I do know that my tempo is slower. It takes me more time to move and to do something than most people. So, and I do a lot of fitness classes and it's more like, "Oh, you need to do this amount in the next 20 seconds." And I'm like, "No. I take my time." Okay, I'm not like doing it really slow, but I know to judge my progress and my success on my own tempo because I'm not gonna be able to run as fast as somebody else. And maybe part of that is me being afraid to hurt myself in the process. Because again, we did talk about that negative connotation that, oh, you got hurt while working out because you're big. You shouldn't be doing these things. This is a sign that you didn't belong here. So maybe it comes from that. I'm not sure. But I do know that I'm very much I do things at my own pace. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to know that, I may not be able, like for me, I may not be able to squat too deeply with a weight with barbells on my shoulders because I need to account for my stomach being on the way, or I need to account for, like for me, sometimes I need to work on my ankle flexion to deepen my squat, right? Or maybe my pelvis is tight. So you kind of have to learn to follow instructions and still be part of the community, but, do what works for you and know what works for you and not allow, maybe judging yourself based on other standards and feeling like you're a failure because you're not. You just have a different body. All bodies are different. And no trainer is going to be perfectly aligned to cater to everybody, right? This system isn't built to include everybody, so there's bias in a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? We're kind of on the same wavelength because I was gonna bring it up, the dirty word that everybody hates, which is a modification, which I do not know, and I still struggle with it now. I think more times than not now, I'm just like, "Just give me the modification," and I kinda learned that from Pole is like, I give me the modification. I can't get the actual move, but I'll take the modification. And it's so weird because it's such a dirty word when it comes to exercise, when the meaning, and I learned this during my liquid motion certification, the meaning of a modification is to make better. So even if you can't do it the quote unquote real technique is make it's better for your body. You're improving upon something you can't do because right now. That may change, but there's nothing wrong with taking a modification because a modification is to make better. So if you can't do something right now, what is the point of having a bad form, of potentially injuring yourself, of potentially making yourself unhappy when the modification is there that you can take that will improve yourself? And that just means save it for another day. You may not get it now, you may not get it in 6 months, you may not get it in a year, or you may never get it, but at least you're doing something that works for your body.
Yeah.
And like I said, if somebody wanted to modify your car, you would to take the modification. That's more times than not, that means your car is gonna be better. Just like anything else, a modification on software or anything else means like it's an improvement. But for some reason, when it comes to fitness, people hear the word modification, ask for a modification, and it feels dirty. It feels like you failed on some level, and we have to stop because the definition of a modification is not that.
And I just look at it as an adjustment, and it's an adjustment it's a customization to me. It's something that's custom to me. And like I said, like I know, okay, I'm in the gym. If I'm doing a move, I'm trying to hit a certain group of muscles. And there's so many ways to attack. That's the one thing I love about fitness. There is no one way to do this. You want to work on triceps? There's so many ways you can do it. You can do a skull crusher. You can do a cable pull down. I mean, you can do dumbbell flies or whatever tricep pushback. There's so
Kickback,
many
yeah.
ways for you to attack a certain group of muscles. There's no one so like I have seen people like because I'm obsessed with building glutes right now, right? And the main way is like hip thrust. I don't know. The main way is usually like Bulgarian split squats or squats or some sort of like lunge. And I'm like, my knees cannot handle that. Like my knees talk to when I go up the stairs. Like they've been like that for years and nothing's wrong with them, but they're just very noisy. So I can't really rely on lunges. I mean, lunges are my enemy at this point. So I looked at what are the other ways I could hit the three parts of the glute. And it was hip thrust, it was RDLs, barbell or Smith machine RDL. There and I've seen people even do it with like step ups, with like weighted step ups. So there's so many ways that you can achieve a goal when it comes to targeting your fitness journey. So what's wrong with trying different ways? And maybe one way is what works better for you than other people. Like I don't see the issue. And maybe because I dealt with this early on in my journey with being in pain when I started with kickboxing. I was in utter pain just because I don't think I was used to that kind of movement for a very long time, so there was a lot of pain and I had to learn how to push through, but I think because of that, I don't wanna be in pain doing this, I don't wanna get hurt, and I wanna accomplish my goals, so I don't see an issue with modification.
Right. I think I've slowly, and like I said, sometimes I still have the issue, but I like for me, like push-ups was a big one. I mean, younger, I could do the regular push-up. Then over time, it was just not something I could do. And so I got comfortable just doing, being on your knees doing it or the girly push-up, whatever you want to call it. But that worked for a while. And I did it for a very long time. Then because that was, and it was good enough. And I felt the burn and this and this and that. And I think my body got to a point where it was just like, okay, how about we try a regular push-up, see what happens. And now I can do regular push-ups. I can't do as many as like say if I was on my knees doing it and pushing down, but now I can get to a solid 10, even push it to a 15. But that took time because it was like my body knew how to do it, but I also stopped feeling bad that I couldn't always just automatically go and do a full on push up. Like, I was like, what am I doing? Like, it doesn't work for me. I'm not getting the workout. I can't even get that far down deep because I just don't have the strength to do it. And I am thinking about my lower body. I engaging my core. It's a lot going on. And right now my arms cannot handle my body weight. There is nothing wrong with that. But I know that I can get lower while still feeling the burn if I just bend my knees and get on my knees and do it that way. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think, like, for me at least, I it's the challenge. That's what it is. I don't like feeling like I failed at a challenge. And that was a big thing with pole. Like, I was the biggest person there, and it irked me when I was the only
Yeah.
person that couldn't do a move or whatever. And I think my trainer, she knew that I think she knew that I wanted it and that she always believed that I can do
Yeah.
moves, like, she has never doubted my abilities. So, it got to the point where I was just like, "I just want the modification." I think she knew that I didn't really want the modification, it was just a way for me to have the out, and I don't think she wanted me to give up because she knew I was close. Closer than I thought I was, because I would look at it or I would be judging it from my perspective and my eyes, and it didn't look like I was anywhere close to the move. but I guess, like, she's an instructor, she could see, like, I'm close to it, I just may not s I just may not notice it. So, she got to the point where she was like, "Okay, I'll give you the modification, but try the move, like, 2 or 3 more times." And I would do it, then she would give me the modification. And the funny thing is that as soon as she gave me the modification, I would still try to do it the normal way. Like, I had the modification, and I was just like, "Well, I really don't like that." I wanna get the trick. And so I would still try it, and then I would hit it. And then sometimes, yeah, I just took the modification because I was exhausted and I wanted to complete the routine, but I would always come back to it. And more times than not, I would get the trick eventually, even though the modification was there. So, for me, sometimes, like, having the modification just gives you options, even if you still want it. And like for pole, like for aerial, no, I will not take them. I will, but it kills me, and it's there in the back of my mind. But like I said, I think my instructor always knew that. Like she was like, "This girl doesn't want the modification. She's super close. She just doesn't know it. I'm gonna give her the modification." And then it's just like, I'm not even using it. I still want to get the trick anyway. So I know, like, I was a pain in her butt for that because it was just kind of like, so
Yeah.
you begged me for it and you're still gonna try to do, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But it was just like, "Thank you for that. I saw it. Now I know that I have something that I can fall back on if I get too tired or if I get too frustrated trying to do this, but I'm still go for it." But yeah, like that, I think that's why for me modifications I don't really love, is because it feels like I failed at the challenge. And I've had to, like, stop thinking that way, and I
Mhm.
think now more so when I'm exercising and doing stuff, it's more like I'm, especially with my knee, I think exercising post-injury is a wild, because it's like, there are certain things you can't do, and you have to work around until you're better, back to yourself, and so, I think I had more flexibility moving when I first injured myself before I got surgery, because there was more, once I hit my PT markers, like, I was able to do enough without the ACL, so I had more wiggle room, whereas now I'm in a stricter protocol, and there's just some things based off of where I am, um, post-op that I just can't do, but I think I've learned now more than ever, it's just like, I'm okay with having the modification because literally, my knee can't take it, and if I try to push it, I'm going to re-injure myself, so
Yeah.
do what I can within the confines of my body, because it's not like I'm never gonna be able to go to
Yeah.
it, it's just like, for right now, I have to listen to my body, and right now, my body cannot take this. So I think this has been a learning period for me when it comes to modifications, and like, with that said, it's an improvement. It's to make better. And I think we have to always have that in the front of our brain, because I don't know what it is. We have just decided that when you hear modification with exercise, it's a bad thing. And then when you're plus size, you're probably doing more modifications than not, because your body is different. Like you said, we have breasts. Like me and you, we're gifted in the front. I have a big old butt. I have thighs. I have so
We
many
have
other
curved
things going.
spines, which
Yeah, like when I do core exercises on my back, it's really hard for me because my interior tilt is very, very pronounced at the bottom because of my butt. If you see my butt, you know that thing's thangin'. It's it's ghetto girl music video hour. Like it is.
has my cup on it though.
Like,
I'm
the
trying to build
bottom
one. If
V.
you don't want it,
Girl, I've been trying.
okay.
Like, it's just, huh? Like, it's very curved because I have that natural incurve before my butt, like, sticks out. So, that means I have to work harder with when I tuck, and I have to work harder at it, especially on my back. So eventually, for me, it hurts, like, after a while for sitting too long, because I have to be at a very, very hard tuck, and that's hard to maintain all the time. So usually I think the best exercises for me that I found is, like, I can do dead bugs. Dead bugs feel really good on my
Mm,
back. Um But things like sit-ups, things like that, I can do them, but it's not after round 2, please leave me alone. Be blessed, leave me alone. Please let me get off of my back. It's hurts. Like, we need to move on from this exercise. Like, you got a good 20 out of me, leave me alone. That is the best I could do for you. Like, if you ask me for round 3, I'm throwing hands on you. There's no way around it. Cause my back is burning. Exactly, my back is burning, I don't wanna do this anymore. My tapping out. Someone else come into the ring. So there's just certain exercises that feel better than other ones when I'm doing it. Even like glute bridges, I think those are fine for a while, only because like you're tucking and tilting the spine. So my body actually likes that movement that's happening. Like because I'm tucking and tilting, it actually feels good. I'm not just in one position over the other. It's just that movement of, okay, as soon as I hit the ground, I'm tucking again and lifting. So that's one of the ones that I can actually do for a while without feeling bad. And I think it's a really good exercise for me because if I'm not really tilting, tucking the way I should to lift, then I'll feel it eventually. After a few of them, like my back will be like, this isn't feeling great. But yeah, those are things that you have to learn, and also you have to be able to say to people, like, I would be embarrassed to, like, tell an instructor, like, "This hurts," and then suddenly I just started like, when I would stop and, like, instructors are like, "Come on, you gotta continue, you gotta continue." Now I'm just like, "Listen, this is hurting my back." They actually get it. They know why my lower back is hurting because of that anterior tilt. So it's kind of like, okay, I'll give you the modification. And sometimes I don't necessarily love it, but I also know like, why am I going to put myself through extra pain? What is the point of that? Because if I'm putting my body through pain, am I really getting anything? That means most times than not, my form has probably like been is done, yeah, like, I because my body is gonna compensate because it feels pain, so it's gonna look for pathways to try to override that pain that it's feeling. So, at that point, is it even worth it? No.
No, it's not. And a lot of this, again, like there's so much information out there, and we're in a time where even if you think you're the only one having this issue, you're not. There's someone out there that has looked into this, and like we are making this public, sharing this information, helping others benefit from our, the work that we have done. So just start. It will
Definitely.
all work out. It will all pieces start small, and little by little, it will just all work out and come together. And your capacity even increases as you continue to go.
And I would also say be open to different exercise movements because you don't know what you're gonna get from that, like,
Um,
there's yoga gives you flexibility and mobility in ways that you haven't imagined. Bar is a different type of strengthening. It's more so toning.
because my I think my not quads, my calves suffer in bar.
And they
I mean, we didn't
would.
even talk about it. Like we don't just strength train. We do like multiple things.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Is it an app? So it's not just strength training. Like we've basically, I think we've tried almost everything under the sun. So I've done kickboxing, I've done boot camp style workouts, I've done Pilates, I've done bar, yoga, of course. What else? Tennis, pickleball. I've done, of course, training. I've tried training for marathons by myself. I have done cycling. Um,
I can imagine.
Right, I don't get it. I don't know if it's because of I mean, I've seen plus size cyclers, like, but those seats are just
Uncomfortable.
why would I wanna do that to her? Um, of course, I do a lot of dance classes. Um, I think there's more, but, like, you've probably done more. You've
Let's see. Everybody knows pole, hammocks, hoop, I do chair dance, belly dancing. I've done Zumba. I did Zumba a lot before even getting to here. Let's see. Mat Pilates, reformer Pilates, bar, definitely. What else? Oh, I take flexibility classes. I've done yoga. I do,
You say area?
yeah, I did say aerial. Yoga, infrared, hot yoga. So, yeah, and it's extensive, yeah. So we've tried other things, and I like I said, they all are beneficial. I think I do a lot more cross training because for me, like, that helps with my pole and aerial. Oh, handstands is another thing that I've done. So learning how to balance, upside down is another big one, and that was actually fun, and I know people will be like, "Mm," but that's kinda like tumble. Oh, yeah, burlesque floor work, so that was just another subset of dancing. Yeah, so all these things, like, kinda work together, but everything helps your body in different ways that you may not even think about if you're focused on just one type of exercise. Oh, and I did try kickboxing, not my thing, not my jam. May it live on and prosper, but just not with me, beloved. It's not.
You turn into an older black woman. Be blessed.
Be blessed, be gone, like, I'm gonna start quoting
We
the Bible.
cannot find that beloved.
Like, listen, I'm about to start quoting the Bible for, like, this breakup between me and cardio. It's just not meant for me. Like, the sermon was given, I did not receive it. Let it be. Go forth and multiply, but just not with me.
Hi.
So, yeah, so we've done a lot of different things, and I think, like, I because of pull and realizing how many different muscles you need just to pull one trick off. I think that has also allowed me to be more open about what I do to exercise my body. Like belly dancing is great for hips. It's great for a core too. And I know a lot of people don't think about that. It's also good for being able to move one part of your body and while doing something else with another part of your body, which is also great for pull because that is what you're doing a lot of the times. Yeah, bar and Pilates, those are great workouts that are more so about
Micro.
toning, and it strengthens things, but isometrically. So it's a completely different workout from just strengthening with weight and that muscle engagement. So it's a different type of muscle engagement that you're doing. Like you are working in a very like slow and controlled way one part of your body. And that hits different than when you're going and doing, 5 or 6 reps or a whole complete complex with like weights. It's just those are two different things.
Pilates, and I've been doing Pilates reformer and mat Pilates for like a year and a half, and it's still a challenge every time I
It
go in.
hits different. It's just a different type of workout. And I know there's like a lot of Pilates princesses that do things, but give them a weight, baby, they go down. Same thing with if you put a weightlifter in one of those classes, in a bar class, in a Pilates class, baby, they're gonna be like, oh no, no, no. This is hard. This is different because it
Realty is in bar. There's one thing that makes me cry. It's bar.
tell you, the first time I ever cried in a class, it was when I did my first flexi class.
Mm,
That was a different type of pain. I think because I've done yoga and I was like, "Oh, I've stretched before. I got this." Baby, holding certain static stretches, I was like, "Good God, what are we doing here?" I have never given birth, but I thought could imagine that's what labor felt like. Like, I just did not know. It felt like things were tearing, and I was just like, "What am I doing to myself? What is this torture chamber? What did I just do?" Like, I don't think I need a split. It's fine. I was maybe I had it once as a child, but I'm okay to never see it again. I don't even remember it. It's a phantom memory for all I know. I don't know. Used to doing yoga where it's just like, meditate, relax, you'll do it. And like, okay.
Release. No.
Exactly, like, where the hardest move for me was a downward dog, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm sitting here crying because my leg is up against the wall and I'm in a lunge and I'm like, "What is this? It's a lunge, but I don't know what's happening." My body does not my body was just like, "The fuck are we doing here? What I'm done. Count me out of it." So, while I was in the position holding, tears were coming down my eyes. Tears, like, literally crying because I was like, "This is painful. What are we doing?" But now, girl, you can't tell me nothing. I love a good stretch. I'm just like, "Oh, give it to me."
It. I need it. And it's so there I mean, I don't know if it's true, like, we hold emotion in certain part, like, repressed emotion in our body, but I honestly feel like with a lot of, like, those deep stretch classes, like, I think the closest I've done to something like that, we have, like it's Vinyasa. Like, those classes like, heal me emotionally, heal me mentally on top of, the stretching and the releasing the fascia and allow me to actually, like my hips, I've really released my hips in those kind of classes, which help me with my squat depth, which helped me with being able to actually last on a Stairmaster, which helped me with my lunges, which helped me with so many other things that I try to do with my RDLs. So these things are all intertwined at the end of the day, even though they all target different things. It's just this really holistic approach to fitness that is amazing, you know?
It is, and I think sometimes you just need a break from, like, your normal routine,
Yeah.
especially if you're just doing one thing that you're really focused in and plugged in on. I'm lucky enough that, like, with pole and aerial, there's so many elements and stuff to it, so it makes me more well-rounded as, like, a dancer and just, like, an athlete just because of everything that's required to get good at it, but then I also have found, strength training. I've found belly dancing, like, there are just things that I do because why not? Like, it only helps me. So, I will say, like, if you're doing something that's just very specific based because like I said, there's not a lot of sports that will demand so much of you in different aspects of so many things. Because like I said, pole is like gymnastics, it's ballet, it's a lot that goes into it. And you don't see a lot of sports that you're being required to do so many things just to do one little thing. So that's why it's also good to like get out there. But also, like I said, you're training your muscles differently. Like when you go to a bar class or a Pilates class, completely different from then when you're just lifting weights and you feel it. But it's a good exercise and your body needs both. Your body needs that balance.
Yeah.
And it only makes you a better athlete.
It's easier to do because then it's like, like, the thing that I love is I can hang out with the science-based bro lifters and kinda, like, understand and be around them and, I understand the lingo and everything they're talking about and what they're trying to do, and we kinda have the same goals, but then I can also be a Pilates princess the next day, or I can hang out with the muscle mommies, or I can go and be a pickleball champion for the day, like, or I can hang out with my Zumba girls.
Right.
It's just the variety. It just adds sauce to life that I mean, maybe because I just like doing different things. I love learning and always pursuing something, but I enjoy the variety, and it kinda makes it more enjoyable than, saying, like, every day, I'm just gonna go to the gym and lift, and I get that, and some people can do that too. But for me, even my split, although it's more weight training based and a lot of the things that I need to do are on, growing my strength through strength training. My weekly split does make room for that because I still need to do cardio if I really want to focus on weight loss, like especially after lifting. Want to incorporate cardio. I need to rest. So what do I do on my rest days? That's when I do my active recovery with Pilates and bar, and yoga and stuff like that. And so then it just becomes fun. Like every day is a different thing.
And I also
Not
think
boring. It's not monotonous.
yeah, and I also think, like, as a plus size girl, I think, like, trying to do like, being open to different types of movements is good because there might be something that you can really hone in on and feel accomplished. Because I think a lot of the times it is hard when you're not getting something or you can't do something because of your size and you're struggling. So you might find something, let's say like you dance, it's not going well, but you go and lift and you find out, hey, I'm just starting and I can lift 100 pounds right now. And that's like for right now. And it's only going to go up from there. So there's just ways that you'll feel better about yourself. Like, or maybe, you're just like, oh man, I just started out at the gym and I can only lift 20 pounds, but then you go into Pilates or bar and you're killing it, So there are just different things that you can feel accomplished by if you just remain open minded. With that said, yes, you should do something that you find passion for and then work towards it and be dedicated or whatever. That is not a way to get out of being disciplined and consistent because if you want to achieve things, if you want to unlock things, you have to be disciplined and consistent in order to see it through. Otherwise, you're not going to get results. I know we live in an instant gratification world
No more care.
and you got to, and
Yeah,
everyone
that's
is always
oh,
yeah, like and you're always being told to, try the latest trend, do the latest thing because it's hip, it is cool, but
and forget.
yeah, like fitness, just like strength training from I can tell you from pole, I can tell you, it's the same. Like it is discipline, it's about being consistent, and it's about doing the same thing over and
Over, over, and
over.
over, and over.
Exactly. Like we'll talk about this like in a later conversation, but like with strength training, you are probably doing the same moves over and over again. Otherwise, A, your form isn't going to get good, and B, you're not going to really get stronger. That's how progressive overloading works is that you're doing the same move over and over, you're just adding more weight. That's how you get stronger. If you're doing something different every every single day, like 365 days a year, you're going to be like, "Well, I don't have any results." Well, yeah, you we're doing a different move every single day of the week. What did you think was gonna happen? Like
Crazy to think about. Like, in order to build muscle, you need to break down the current muscle. You need to
yeah.
torture it, and basically, like, but it works.
Yeah, no, it does, and that's the only way to do it is if you do the same thing to break down that muscle. Otherwise, the muscle doesn't learn anything. It's not gonna grow. It's not gonna get what it needs out of it. So, that's just how it is. So, a lot of people will find strength training boring, but if you want the real results, if you wanna see the real thing, like, it is
Mhm.
doing the same thing over and over. With pull, if you wanna get good, if you wanna have a strong foundation, it is practicing moves over and over until you feel confident into them, because if you don't have a good foundation, if you don't have good technique, more times than not, you're going to injure yourself. So, I would say, like, be open to trying other forms of movement to make sure you're not getting bogged down and feeling down about yourself if you're not getting something, but also remain consistent and diligent and disciplined because otherwise you're not gonna reap results anyway, you know? That's at least that's how I've experienced this journey so exercising in a plus size body, it's not easy, but it's definitely fun and you learn a lot about yourself and we hope that you take something from it. Like you said, if you're a beginner, like figure out your body and what works for you.
Be kind to yourself.
Definitely be kind to yourself. Just because, like you said, trainers should know all bodies and how to help all bodies, but that's not necessarily the reality of it. So I would say think about that. Be kind to yourself. And also, modification is not a dirty word. It means to improve upon. It's an improvement. Do not be afraid to take the modification, whether you have to use it forever or just for a short time. It's not bad because it's an improvement upon your body, upon your technique to learn something and prevent you from being seriously injured. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. All bodies are different. All bodies handle loads differently and all bodies have suffered different traumas and right. So and injuries, so everybody is different. And there's nothing wrong with taking a modification to improve upon what is already good about your body. And yeah, just be open to all forms of movement because you never know what's going to make you feel good and what's not going to make you feel good. So it's good to have a variety.
Right.
And also, I would say remain diligent and disciplined in whatever you do. You can have something that is your main lock in and core, which is like for me, it is pole dancing and aerial. For Lux, it is strength training and do things on the side and be open to doing those things on the side because I'm telling you that'll make your mood feel better because there are times when I'm in pull or I'm in aerial and I cannot get something, but if I go to a strength training class and I'm knocking out a PR, you can't tell me nothing.
For the world.
Exactly, talk nicely to me. Talk nicely to me. So, I will say, like, there are just other things or, like, belly dancing feels really natural, and I'm, like, getting a whole bunch of compliments because I'm moving like I've done this before, and I don't have any experience. So, I will say that being open to other types of movement does help your self-esteem. And it makes you know that, okay, movement is for me because if you lock in on something and then it's not working out, it's going to mess with your mental. Like you will feel down. And I think just being open to variety really helps like with that physical that mental frustration that we all hit in a plus size body. You can't get around it. That frustration of not getting something because you're fat.
It's ingrained in society, unfortunately.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with it, like, you can't get it yet. Let also put things with a yet in it. Don't make it definitive. It's always a yet. It has yet to come. So you can't do something, you just can't do it for right now. And that is okay. Enjoy the journey.
Let yourself cook. You'll get there.
Yes. Let it cook.
Let it cook.
So yeah, that is everything. Until next time, thanks for joining the conversation as always, and we hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you take our little hot takes from this. I am Nomi,
Lex Wonderless.
and you can follow us on our socials. My socials for TikTok and Instagram are want_2_Nomi.
I'm on TikTok as Lex_Wonderless.
And we will see you for the next conversation, guys. Thanks again. Bye.